trending with the controversy that has erupted at the National Assembly after opposition senators accused Senate President Godswill Akpabio of misrepresenting the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2026 that was passed on Tuesday. The senators, led by Senator Eyinaya Abaribe, held a press briefing on Wednesday claiming that the version of the bill announced as passed did not reflect what was actually approved during plenary.
To put the records straight, yesterday, the Senate did not, I repeat, did not pass transfer of results, which was in the 2022 Act. What we passed, and which the Senate President himself, when he was doing a clarification sitting on his chair, is transmission of results. Transmit, not transfer. What is in 2022 is transfer. And we don't want a law that is vague. We don't want a law that will be misinterpreted by anybody. We want a law that is clear, concise, and can be interpreted by all, and that is unambiguous. So it is electronic transmission of results. Yes. Thank you.
All right, clearly spelled out. Transmission, not transfer. Well, on Wednesday, Senate President Godswill Akpabio tried to clarify the Senate's decision, saying that the Senate did not reject electronic transmission of results, but retained its provisions in the current Electoral Act. Let's take a look.
But the social media already is awash with the fact that the Senate has rejected electronic transmission. That is not true. That is not true. Electronic transmission had always been in our Act. And what we did was to retain the electronic transmission, which had been in our Act and which was used in 2022. Let me just mention the fact that there was no deliberate attempt on the part of the Nigerian Senate to delay the amendment of the Electoral Act. Our intention had always been to ensure that we do our best and we do it painstakingly.
All right. What Nigerians are asking is not to retain the Electoral Act 2022, but to amend it to make electronic transmission of results mandatory. We want results to be uploaded in real time onto the IRF portal from polling units. Currently, Section 63 of the Electoral Act does not mandate the electronic transmission of results. It gives INEC the discretion to determine the method of transfer of results. Nigerians want that section amended. And I'll take Peter Obi's post. In a lengthy tweet he wrote in part, the Senate's blatant rejection of mandatory electronic transmission of results is an unforgivable act of electoral manipulation ahead of 2027. This failure to pass a clear safeguard is nothing short of a deliberate assault on Nigeria's democracy. By rejecting these essential transparency measures, they are eroding the very foundation of credible elections. The turmoil, disputes, and manipulations that plagued past elections, especially the 2023 general election, stemmed directly from the refusal to fully implement electronic transmission. Nigerians were fed excuses of a fabricated glitch that never existed, while numerous African nations adopt electronic transmission to bolster democracy. Nigeria, the supposed giant of Africa, shamelessly lags behind, dragging the continent backwards by rejecting mandatory electronic transmission, a critical safeguard for electoral integrity. We are entrenching disorder aimed at perpetuating confusion according to the whims of a small clique. Have we not reached a point where we must think seriously about the future of our country and our children? When the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, aware of our history, labeled us fantastically corrupt, we reacted defensively. When President Donald Trump declared us a now disgraced nation, we were incensed. Yet, with every act of resistance against transparency and reform, we continue to affirm their claims. Those responsible will later point fingers at others for harming the country while they quietly suffocate its potential. Let there be no illusion. The criminality witnessed in 2023 will not be tolerated. In 2027, Nigerians everywhere must start getting ready to rise up, resist, and reject the backward trajectory, legitimately and decisively reclaim our country from the clutches of deliberate malevolence. I mean, that was, a detailed tweet. Rufai.
You know why I was like,
Yeah.
Daramodu's argument is so jaded, bruh. Mr. Senator, your argument is so jaded. It's so 2023. These were the same dumb, daft arguments they made in 2023 that we shut them up for. Dumb, daft arguments. You don't even need a lot of bandwidth to be able to do the transmission. Are you guys kidding me? And you're bringing that argument again to 2027? It's daft. It's dumb. Please, we are not fools. INEC gets about 97% transmission for election. Are you not in this country?
Yeah.
Don't you see INEC gets about 97% transmission? Is it not from rural areas that do the transmission? Why is it that we have a set of leaders that always bring us back as a nation? Nigeria, you see, every morning I wake up and I see how blessed this country is. But when I see the quality of leaders we get, they are not even deserving of lacing the boots of the hardworking citizens of this country. Now the next thing, the senators, the bunch of them, sat together and they're trying to say, oh, it's transfer, not transmission. Heck yeah, we know what we're talking about.
All right.
It's transmission. You transmit, you send across a medium. Internet is a medium here, not transfer. And why we are doing this is to nullify the collation, the criminal center called collation center,
Right.
where people manipulate the elections.
Yes.
And by the way, if they've got nothing to hide, why did we have a technological glitch? Why was it only the presidential election? Nigerians must stand for this. These senators must stop making us a joke. And please, people, mark their face down. In the next election, deal with them. Show them how you feel.
Dr. Abati.
Okay, a number of
Nonsense.
Earlier on today, we had former Minister Obi Ezekwesili, and we started with the piece she has written on the subject that it looks like the National Assembly is playing with fire. But the major point of our submission in the article she wrote is about trust.
Yes.
That to build trust
Correct.
in the electoral process, the National Assembly, in redefining, amending, reviewing the Electoral Amendment Act of 2022, must be seen to be doing it in a transparent and accountable manner to build confidence in the electoral process, so that the people will believe that the 2027 general election has not been rigged from now, and that it to be free, fair, and credible. That's why transparency and accountability is important. The second issue to raise is the point made by Yemi Adaramodu, who is the spokesperson of the Senate. Now, you won't be able to transmit from some rural areas and all of that. He was just making a comment on the level of our development. They have elections in other places. When they hold elections in the US or they hold election in the UK, in some countries, you may not even know that the election is going on. People will go to work, everything will happen, and it will be transmitted.
Yes.
But what the senator was saying basically is that we're still a backward country when it comes to election management. And what Nigerians and the commentariat have been saying is that, look, can we raise the level of performance, both institutionally and also procedurally? And in that regard, you cannot argue with the people. It's about raising the standards. Now, I made the point before that, the politicians, the lawmakers are probably looking at pragmatism. Nobody as a politician will want to go and make a law that will remove him from power. So it's a game also of self-preservation. And Nigerians are saying, contrary-wise, that we the people should be the ones to decide. When you produce when we have voted, transmit real time.
Yes.
So that all of us can monitor the votes. If you say defend your votes, how will we defend the votes if what we get there will be at the discretion of INEC?